The book of Genesis, the very first book of the Bible, it's the foundation of Scripture. Within its pages, we encounter fundamental truths about God, humanity, and the world. Genesis 1 to 11 offers insights into creation, human rebellion, and God's faithfulness. We see God's power in creation and the consequences of sin, yet hope weaves through the narrative. Despite failures, God's grace shines. He doesn't abandon his creation. These stories speak to our lives today. They remind us of our dignity and purpose and offer hope, pointing to a forgiving God. As we delve into Genesis, let its truths shape us. In the beginning there was nothing, no sun, no moon, no stars, only darkness covered the face of the deep. Then God spoke, and with each word the universe sprang into being. Light pierced the darkness. The heavens stretched out like a vast canvas. Land emerged from the watery depths. God created the world with intentionality and purpose. He separated the light from the darkness, calling forth day and night. He gathered the waters, forming seas and dry land. He adorned the earth with vibrant life plants, yielding their fruit, birds soaring through the sky and creatures teeming in the seas. Finally, he created humanity, the pinnacle of his creation. Made in the image of God, Adam and Eve were unique among all creation. They were given dominion over the earth, entrusted with the responsibility to care for it and cultivate its beauty. They were to be God's representatives, reflecting his love and wisdom in all that they did. The Garden of Eden, a paradise of abundance and harmony, stood as a testament to God's goodness and the perfect world he had created. Into this idyllic setting, temptation slithered. The serpent, cunning and deceitful, approached Eve with a question. Did God really say, "You must not eat from any tree in the garden?" he asked, casting doubt on God's words. The serpent tempted Eve with the promise of knowledge, the power to be like God, knowing good and evil. Eve, enticed by the serpent's words and the fruit's allure, took a bite. She then gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate. In that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, but not to the wisdom they had sought. Instead, they saw their own nakedness and felt a sense of shame. They had chosen to disobey God, prioritizing their own desires above his will. This act of rebellion, this deliberate choice to disobey God's command, is known as the fall. It marked a turning point in human history, fracturing the perfect harmony that had existed between God and humanity. The consequences of their sin would reverberate through generations, casting a long shadow over all creation. Section 4, Broken Harmony, the consequences of sin. The once unbreakable bond between God and humanity was shattered. The ground, once fertile and life-giving, now yielded thorns and thistles, a constant reminder of the curse brought about by sin. Pain and toil became the new realities of human existence. Adam and Eve, once naked and unashamed, now felt the weight of guilt and shame. The consequences of their sin extended beyond their own relationship with God. The harmony between man and woman was disrupted, replaced by conflict and blame. The serpent, cursed for its role in the deception, became a symbol of the enemy's presence in the world, sowing discord and destruction. Even death itself entered the world as a result of sin, a stark reminder of the separation between God and humanity. Yet, even in the midst of judgment, God's grace shone through. He promised a Redeemer, a descendant of Eve who would crush the serpent's head, ultimately triumphing over sin and death. Section 5, A World Awash in Wickedness, the Flood. As time passed, the consequences of sin continued to multiply. The descendants of Adam and Eve followed in their footsteps, their hearts growing increasingly wicked. Violence and corruption spread like a plague across the land, until every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. God, grieved by the pervasiveness of sin and the depths of human depravity, decided to judge the world with a flood. Yet, even in his judgment, he remembered mercy. He chose Noah, a righteous man who walked faithfully with God, to build an ark, a vessel of salvation. God instructed Noah to bring his family and 2 of every kind of animal into the ark, preserving them from the coming destruction. For 40 days and 40 nights the rain fell relentlessly, submerging the earth, cleansing it from the wickedness that had corrupted it. Section 6, A New Beginning, a Familiar Fall, Noah and His Sons. When the floodwaters receded, Noah and his family emerged from the ark, stepping onto a cleansed and renewed earth. God established a covenant with Noah, promising never again to destroy the earth with a flood. The rainbow, a symbol of God's faithfulness and mercy, arched across the sky, a constant reminder of his promise. Yet even with this fresh start, the shadow of sin remained. Noah, a righteous man, planted a vineyard and, in a moment of weakness, became drunk. This lapse in judgment led to shame and discord within his own family, demonstrating that even the best of humanity remained susceptible to sin's allure. The story of Noah's drunkenness is a sobering reminder that the human heart, even after experiencing God's grace and mercy, is still prone to wander. It highlights the ongoing struggle between our sinful nature and our desire to follow God. Section 7. Reaching for the heavens, the Tower of Babel. Generations passed, and humanity, once scattered by the flood, began to multiply once more. They journeyed eastward, settling in the land of Shinar. There they embarked on an ambitious project, the construction of a tower that would reach to the heavens. Driven by pride and a desire to make a name for themselves, they sought to create a monument to their own ingenuity and power. They believed that by their own efforts, they could ascend to the heavens and achieve greatness. God, observing their arrogance and their defiance of his command to fill the earth, intervened. He confused their language, creating a cacophony of tongues that prevented them from understanding one another. Unable to communicate, their grand plans crumbled, and they were scattered across the face of the earth. The Tower of Babel stands as a timeless reminder of the dangers of pride and the futility of human ambition when it is not aligned with God's will.